Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing how generate steps work in Google Opal. So we're going to create a new app right now. And so you'll see this little generate tab up at the top. So you can either click this and that's how you find your generate, or if you just at the bottom typed in what you wanted the agent to be and just kind of vibe coded it, so you just said what you wanted the agent to be, then it would build an agent with generate steps in it. But for now, we're just going to be looking at this generate step right here. So if you click on it, it'll bring you here, and this is where you'll prompt this AI. A generate step is basically the brains of the entire thing. It's where all the processing happens. So you have the input steps, which lead to the generate steps, which lead to the output steps. But in this generate step, this is where all of the work is going to be done. So there's different ways that it'll work. So if you look at these models up at the top, you'll have all these different models which each has a different use case. So you have Gemini 2.5 Flash, so this is fast, it has access to the internet, it's like a quick one, it's new. Gemini 2.5 Pro it's for more complex and deep in tasks and all that. The plan and execute one here is very interesting. It will go and it will actually execute whatever is prompted to it, which we will show in later videos, but that gets a little bit more complex. Then you have deep research, which is basically a more in-depth version of 2.5 Pro. So it's different and it's more just research based, and it'll probably take a little longer. Then you have ImageGen 4, which basically you can prompt it and say, I want you to create an image that is based off of what the user inputs. Then this will go and it'll create that image, which is actually really cool. The Gemini 2.5 Flash image generation is basically the same, but it can also you can prompt it with an image. So you can give it an image and say, oh, I want you to make this change to this image, and then it can go and do that. AudioLM, so this is one that's going to output an audio. So if you wanted to give it a transcript and be like, oh, can you then take this and make this into a little audiobook, then it can go and it can go read out it. Though it's probably not going to be as long as an audiobook. It's not going to be able to do something of that length. But for shorter things, if you want it to just be an audio snippet for a little article that you're making or something, then that can be used for that. And last but not least, you have VO, which is the video generation tool, and basically you can prompt it with text and images, or text and images, or one or the other, and then from there you can give it a little prompt saying what you want it to do, and it will go make a video from it. So those are just the different types of models and their use cases. It's really important to choose the right model, and a lot of the time you just will ask the AI down at the bottom and you'll say, can you create this thing, and it'll just automatically choose the right model for you. But if you're building it from scratch, then you're going to have to know which one to use. Another thing in the generate step is if you look more towards the top right, you're going to see this suitcase little button. So if you click on it, this is going to be your tools. So again, if you're going to just ask this AI to create it, it will put whatever tools it needs in there. And sometimes, even if it doesn't need it, it'll just put in all the tools. But if you're making an agent just manually, you'll see this search web, so that's a tool, and it'll be able to search the web with it. Search maps, same idea. It's just search the map. So if you have something that's oh, I want to know where this is or in relation to something else, search maps could help with that. Get web page, so if you really want to get maybe the URL or the web page or something, that could be used. And then finally, get weather, so if you're I'm going on a trip to this place, I want to know the weather for this week or whatever, then that one can be used.
So we've covered the different models, but one of the other really important parts of the generate step is the prompt you give it. So of course you could type your own prompt, something simple like, can you analyze this data? But the AI isn't going to be able to understand that as well as a more professional prompt. So one way you can do it is by going to suggest and edit, specifying exactly which step. So I'm going to say in this generate step, and then telling it exactly what you want the prompt to accomplish. So what I'm going to say is, in the generate step, create a prompt that will analyze the user inputs and output them in a more professional format. And so you can see if you hit enter.
Yeah, so because we said that we wanted to take it from the inputs, it needed to have an input, so it created that. And then when we said that we wanted it to be formatted professionally, then it basically created an output as well. So another thing is, like, if you really want to just target this one thing, you're probably going to also already want to have an input and an output, and then you can say, I want you to change just the reformat text one, and then say what changes you want, and that might work just for this specific step. But always in your agent, you're going to have an input, a processing, an output, or generate an output step. So you're never going to really have the issue of it creating those for you. Usually also, if you want it to just build the agent itself, you can just say, like, I want you to input this and do this with that input and output it, and it'll do all the steps for you.
Yeah, and you can see it has a really lengthier prompt that you probably wouldn't have generated yourself. And this will just help the AI kind of better think through it and provide you an output that's more relevant.
Yeah, so I think that's going to wrap it up for everything you really need to know about generates. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.